Welcome back to Oracles by MJ. I am MJ. I am your girl. Now, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I actually sat down and vlogged. But you know, the work is consistent. I hope we're all being great and doing our best each day. Minus all that toxicity. Okay? But today's discussion, today's article that I will be reading and giving my opinion at the end is signs of a toxic person. And we all have toxic people in our lives. Now, we may not be intimate with them all on a sexual level, but we all have toxic people in our lives. And we see when these behaviors are displayed, we understand in our heads that answers questions. That's why your ass is single. That's why you haven't got further in your career. That's why you're looking like you're dried out. That's why you're 23 and you a pick me. Okay? So, at 23 you should be chosen, alright? I said that to say that. So, when you pick your person, like I said, we all go through life and we all do toxic-ish, but at some level, alright? Signs of a toxic person. I sourced and cited this WebMD. Please, I always forget to say it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it does help me and encourage me to keep on going. But I will let you know that nothing stops me.
I should be right on.
Nothing stops me.
Mom.
But it does help me and
Mommy.
encourage me, as I said,
Mom.
when I know that I
It's
have
not on.
a team of supporters. And I know there are others out there that are like me. This child is over here asking me to turn on the light so she can go in the room so she won't be heard behind the phone. But I'm damn near done. Enjoy the article. What is a toxic person? If you know someone who's difficult and causes a lot of conflict in your life, you may be dealing with a toxic person. These people can create lots of stress and unpleasantness for you and others, not to mention emotional or even physical pain. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. Many times, people who are toxic are dealing with their own stresses and traumas. To do this, they act in ways that don't present them in the best light and usually upset others along the way. Toxicity in people isn't considered a mental disorder, but there could be underlying mental problems that cause someone to act in toxic ways, including a personality disorder. Here are some warning signs to watch out for if you think you're dealing with a toxic person. You feel like you're being manipulated into something you don't want to do. You're constantly confused by the person's behavior. You feel like you deserve an apology that never comes. You always have to defend yourself to this person. You never feel fully comfortable around them. You continually feel bad about yourself in their presence. If you've experienced these feelings around someone, anyone, they may be toxic. If you constantly have such emotions, you may want to change the relationship or stop the relationship entirely. Okay, so I just realized I forgot a whole excerpt here, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this. Please don't mind me. I just couldn't upload this video without this one main part. Signs of a toxic person. Just like there are signs you're around a toxic person because of how the person makes you feel, there are signs seen in the person themselves that highlight their toxicity. The most common signs include inconsistency. Part of being human is having ups and downs, good times and bad. But a toxic person is almost never consistent. Their behavior is erratic. They don't follow through on their commitments or promises. You never know what they're going to do next. Such inconsistency is very hard when you're trying to be there for someone. They can be elated with you one minute, writing you off the next. And it's so funny because I swear I read the same excerpt. We'll see. They always need your attention. Have you noticed that the person always needs something from you? Whether it's constant phone calls, texts, or showing up at your door, they always need emotional support. And they are probably not being supportive to you in return. They take all that you have without giving much back. They have a heightened level of self-interest, a need to showcase their own greatness to receive affirmation. This can be associated with narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. There is always drama. Ever notice how drama seems to follow some people? It's likely not a coincidence. Toxic people thrive in dramatic situations. They inflame emotions and create conflict. They love stirring the pot to see what happens. People are often toxic because they are not interested in being stable in healthy in relationships. They don't respect your boundaries. Another sign of a toxic person is no boundaries. If you've been clear with someone time and again about your needs and they just can't help themselves but to disrespect you, they are toxic. Healthy relationships are based on trust and the ability to respect boundaries. Toxic people just can't do that. They manipulate others for what they want. Do you feel taken advantage of? Toxic people love to manipulate those around them to get what they want. This means lying, bending the truth, exaggerating, or leaving out information so that you take a certain action or have a certain opinion of them. They'll do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting people. They abuse substances. Another toxic behavior is the abuse of substances, like drugs and alcohol. These behaviors become toxic when the person is continually harming other people, not to mention themselves. Dealing with toxic people. Now that you know the signs of a toxic person, both in the ways you feel and how they act, you still may not know what to do about it. Here are a few strategies to try. Confront them. As soon as you notice toxic behaviors, confront the person. Call them out on any lies or inconsistencies. Tell them you don't appreciate how they behave. This shows them that you're paying attention and you're giving them a chance to explain themselves or apologize. Set stricter boundaries. If you must have a toxic person in your life, try to set stricter boundaries. For example, if someone is abusing substances and it causes them to harm you or others, let them know you won't see them unless they are sober. Make it clear you won't tolerate their overly dramatic behavior or spreading rumors about people. Limit the time you spend with them until they can change. Cut them out of your life. If the above strategies don't work and cause even more pain, abuse, or dishonesty, it's time to let the toxic person go. Sometimes there's nothing to do but stand up for yourself and move on. Let go. Now, as we just got into the nitty-gritty of toxicity, let me mention the 4 things that I go by in life that I believe harshly and deeply. Exercising to loosen up the muscles in your brain so you can think, the tension rather. Going to a higher power, God. Obtaining knowledge, some type of knowledge that can help you as you progress and move forward in life. And therapy, a professional, a trained professional, someone you can go and speak to that can give you tactics and tools on how to navigate through your stressors that we're going to have regardless of how happy or how much money we may have or not, lack thereof. I say that to say, when you are doing at least one of the 4, we're human, we mess up, but the chances that you'll get back on track are more likely, okay? Now, when you're doing all 4, when you are involved in all 4, the church, therapy, exercising, acquiring knowledge, and of course, self-care as it pertains to reflecting, not so much the bathing and the cosmetic side of it, but reflecting, journaling, looking back at how you did things and looking forward to new ways of doing it, being blessed to actually have the chance to do new things, you know? So when all of these positive, higher power things are in your life, it makes it much more difficult to be toxic. It makes it much more difficult to cheat. It makes it much more difficult to lose focus on the goal. It makes it much more difficult to not let go. It makes it much more difficult to not be obsessive. It makes it much more difficult to not be anxious about others. Anxious, period. It does a lot. And then honestly, the way I look at it, all that toxic-ish, that's only causing you physically to be sick and causing you mentally to go insane. Now, I don't know how far one will get under those conditions and without God, but with God, you wouldn't be doing that now, would you?